Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, our group going to present about how spoken and written language can be used to communicate effectively in both everyday and non-everyday contexts.
So, for introduction, language is the foundation of communication, and in early childhood, it plays a crucial role in shaping how children learn, interact, and express themselves. Spoken and written language are not only tools for exchanging information, but also essential instruments for developing children's thinking, emotional intelligence, and social skills. When teachers and children use language in both everyday and non everyday contexts, learning becomes more structured and purposeful. So, for example, everyday contexts such as giving instruction or labeling object help children manage routine, while non everyday contexts such as storytelling or cultural celebration expose them to more formal ways of using language. So, in this presentation, we will explain how spoken and written language can be applied effectively in both contexts.
Language serves as the key to human connection, especially in the early years of life when children begin to explore the world around them. Both spoken and written forms of language are powerful tools that enable children to share ideas, understand others, and make sense of their experience. Effective communication does not only occur in casual, everyday situations such as classroom routines or peer interactions, but also in more formal, non everyday settings like storytelling sessions, celebration, and learning projects. By experiencing both contexts, children develop the ability to adapt their communication according to different purpose and audience. This dual exposure strengthens their literacy skills, nurtures creativity, and prepares them to participate confidently in a variety of social and cultural environments.
The third introduction for the slide is language is also a powerful tool for building children's identity and sense of belonging. Through spoken and written words, children learn about their own culture, values, and traditions, while also discovering and respecting those of others. When teachers integrate language into activities such as writing class, stories, creating cultural display, or engaging in group discussions, children feel that their voice are heard and valued. This helps them develop in confidence, empathy, and appreciation for diversity. Moreover, the use of language is collaborative tasks encourage teamwork and critical thinking, as children must listen, respond, and negotiate meaning with peers. In this way, language not only supports academic growth but also fosters a positive, inclusive classroom community.
Spoken language is also used in everyday contexts to motivate and encourage children, as praise and positive reinforcement play a significant role in shaping your learner's behavior. In early childhood, children are highly respond to verbal affirmation and encouraging words from teachers help them feel secure, valued, and confident in their abilities. This approach ensures that children not only attempt tasks with enthusiasm but also persist when challenges arise. For instance, when a teacher says good job after a child completes a puzzle, the child experiences a sense of pride and accomplishment, which encouraged further engagement in problem solving activities. As a result, the child's self esteem grows and they become more willing to participate actively in classroom learning. Next, teachers use spoken language in everyday context by giving simple instruction to children, which is a crucial aspect of communication in early childhood education. So, clear verbal guidance enables children to understand classroom expectation and daily routine, ensure they know what to do and how to behave. Since young learners grasp concept more effectively through repetition and consistency, instruction that are regularly spoken help them internalize classroom rules and develop positive habits. For example, when a teacher says, please keep your toys in the box, so children not only follow the instruction but also learn responsibility and the importance of caring for shared resource. So this practice results in children cultivating self-discipline and a sense of order which ultimately contribute to a more organized and respectful classroom environment.
The next one is greeting and polite expressions. Spoken language in everyday context can be used through greetings and polite expressions, which create a warm and respectful classroom atmosphere. When teachers and children exchange words such as good morning, how are you, or thank you, it helps set the tone for positive interaction throughout the day. For instance, every morning a teacher greets each child at the door with a smile and a friendly good morning, encouraging children to respond in the same polite manner. This daily routine not only develops children's social skills but also nurtures habits of courtesy and kindness. Over time, this practice support positive peer relationship and help children transfer respectful communication to other settings beyond school. So the fourth one is checking understanding during lessons. Another everyday use of spoken language is when teachers check children's understanding during lessons. Asking clarifying questions ensures that instructions are understood and children feel confident to continue their tasks. This type of spoken interaction strengthens the teacher-student relationship and makes learning more interactive. For example, a teacher may ask, can you explain this step back to me? Or can you show me how you will do it after explaining an activity? Such practice encourages children to speak up, reflect on their learning, and request help when necessary. It also helps teachers immediately identify misconceptions, ensuring children remain engaged and supported in their learning journey.
Spoken in everyday contexts. 5. Using spoken language for emotional support. Spoken language in everyday context is a powerful tool for addressing children's emotions and helping them regulate their feelings. Teachers can use calm, reassuring words to comfort children when they are upset, frustrated, or anxious, creating a sense of safety and trust. These verbal supports help children understand and name their emotions, which is a critical step in developing emotional intelligence. For example, when a child cries because they miss their parents, the teacher might say, "It's okay to miss mommy. She will come back after class. Let's draw something together while we wait." Such response validate the child's feelings, model appropriate emotional expressions, and teach coping strategies. As a result, children learn to manage emotions in a healthy way and build stronger relationship with teachers and peers. This gentle response does three things. First, it acknowledges the child's feelings. Second, it models healthy emotional expression. And third, it guides the child towards coping strategies. When teachers speak with empathy and encouragement, children regulate their emotions, build trust, and grow in resilience. In the long term, these children develop, internalize, and practice emotional intelligence that serve them for life. Next, number 6, using spoken language to encourage peer collaboration. Teacher use spoken language to guide children in working together during group activities by modeling phrases such as "let's take turn," "can you share the crayons," or "let's build this together." Teachers teach children how to cooperate, negotiate, and resolve conflicts constructively. For instance, during a block building activity, the teacher might say, "Ali, can you pass some block to Sarah so you both can finish the tower together?" This promotes teamwork and helps children understand the value of sharing and collective problem solving. Over time, children internalize these collaborative phrases and begin using them independently, leading to a more cooperative and inclusive classroom environment. Another vital way we use spoken language is to facilitate, inspire, and scaffold peer collaboration. Children are not born knowing how to share or cooperate. They must observe, rehearse, and practice it with guidance. By using this kind of language, we are not just telling children what to do, we are coaching, empowering, and preparing them to work together. Over time, they begin to adopt and repeat these collaborative phrases on their own, leading to a classroom that is naturally inclusive, cooperative, and harmonious.
Next, spoken in non-everyday context. So in non-everyday context, spoken language is used expressively during storytelling session. Storytelling is a significant practice in early childhood education as it develops listening skills, imagination, and comprehension among children. When teachers incorporate expressive tones, facial expression, and gesture, the story becomes more engaging and meaningful, which sustains children's attention and deepens their understanding of language. For example, dramatizing the wild robot, children vividly imagine the character, anticipate event, and understand the moral of the story. So this practice enriches children vocabulary, strengthens their grasp of narrative structure, and cultivates a love for reading, which support early literacy development. So next, spoken language is also essential in information situations such as school assemblies. Assemblies provide opportunities for teachers to model clear, respectful, and formal communication for children, which is an important element of social learning. In early childhood, such exposure is vital as it teaches children the differences between casual and formal communication and when to apply each appropriately. For instance, when a teacher gives a short speech about friendship during an assembly, children observe how polite language and respectful tones are used in front of an audience. As a result, children begin to understand how to conduct themselves in formal situations and develop adaptability in communication style.
The third one is performance and role play. Spoken language is also central to children's involvement in performance and role play. Through this activity, children practice expressive communication, memorization, and the use of tones and gestures to make meaning clear. Role play also allows them to step into different perspectives and practice language in imaginative ways. For example, during a class play, children may take on roles such as shopkeepers, animals, or historical characters, reciting their lines and acting in front of parents or peers. The effect is this builds children's confidence in public speaking, strengthen fluency in language use, and enhance creativity. It also helps them to understand how spoken language can be adapted to different audiences and situations, a skill useful in formal and informal settings. Next one is guest speaker sessions or school visits. In non-everyday context, spoken language is valuable during guest speaker sessions or school visits. These events provide opportunities for children to hear different voices, learn from professionals, and expand their understanding of the world. Such as, for instance, give them exposure to more formal communication that differs from daily classroom talk. For instance, when a doctor visits the classroom to talk about healthy living, children listen attentively to explanation about food and hygiene and are encouraged to ask questions at the end. The interaction help children learn new vocabulary, practice attentive listening, and understand how spoken language can be used to share knowledge with wider society. It also inspires curiosity and connects classroom learning to real life situations.
Number 6. Spoken language during emergency drills or safety lessons. Another non-everyday use of spoken language is during fire drills, safety briefings, or health-related instructions. Clear and calm verbal guidance from teachers is crucial to ensure that children understand what to do in potentially stressful situations. For instance, a teacher might say, when you hear the alarm, hold your friend's hand and walk quietly to the safe area. Repeating these spoken instructions during drills help children remember procedures and respond quickly in real emergencies. In fact, this practice not only teaches safety but also develops children's listening skills, ability to follow multi-step directions, and confidence to act appropriately in unfamiliar circumstances. Repeating these instructions help children absorb, memorize, and follow the procedures. As a result, they can respond quickly, stay calm, and act safely even in real emergencies. This kind of spoken guidance doesn't just teach safety, it develops listening skills, strengthens focus, and builds courage in young learners.
So next, written language in everyday context. Teachers use written language in everyday context by labeling classroom objects. Labels help children recognize printed words and connect them with physical objects around them. In early childhood, such environmental print exposure is important because it supports emergent literacy and allows children to see print as meaningful. For instance, playing the word chair on a chair helps children associate the written words with its spoken form and its real life object. So this strategy builds children words recognition skills and lay a strong foundation for formal reading later. Next, another everyday use of written language is displaying daily schedule on classroom board, which guide children in understanding the sequences of activities and help them anticipate what comes next. In early childhood, such predictability provides a sense of security and help children manage transition between tasks smoothly. For example, the schedule stating circle time, snack, next outdoor play, next story time. So prepare children mentally for each activity and minimize confusion. This practice fosters independence, improves self-regulation, and reduces anxiety among children when moving from one activity to another activity.
Next one is writing personal name tags. Written language can be used effectively in everyday classroom life through name tags. When children write and recognize their own names, they begin to see written language as part of their identity and as a meaningful tool for communication. This practice introduces them to the connection between spoken and written words. For example, a child writes their name on a small card to place on their desk or stay on their cubbyhole. Teachers may also encourage children to decorate their name tags to increase personal connections. This activity helps children recognize, print, strengthen early literacy, and builds pride in their written identity. It also fosters independence as children begin to identify their own belongings without relying on adults. The fourth one is using classroom journals. Another everyday use of written language is through classroom journals, where children practice simple writing to record their thoughts and experiences. Journals give children opportunities to reflect on their day and to see writing as a way of expressing themselves. For instance, at the end of the day, a child may write, I played with the building blocks and or draw a picture with short sentence underneath. Journals promote self-expression, encourage children to connect writing with personal experience, and gradually improve sentence constructions. Teachers can also use journals to understand children's emotions and development, making it both a literacy and communication tool.
Next, written language through the word walls. Word walls are another everyday strategy for using written language in the classroom. They display frequently used words in large, visible prints, making them accessible for children to reference during activity. For instance, a word wall might include words such as play, run, happy, ball, book, or name of classmates. Children can use the wall to copy words into their writing or to practice recognizing familiar vocabulary. Imagine a wall with bright words like play, run, happy, book, and ball. Children can point, copy, and use these words in journals, drawing, and projects. Word walls boost vocabulary, strengthen spelling, and motivate independent writing because children feel empowered to find and use words by themselves.
Writing language in non-everyday contexts. In non-everyday contexts, children use written language when participating in school project or exhibition. Such projects encourage children to practice writing beyond their daily classroom tasks by creating poster, caption, or short written description. So this exposure allows young learners to view writing as a tool for sharing knowledge with others, normally as a classroom exercise. For example, during a healthy food week exhibition, children may write simple labels like apple is good for health to accompany their displays. Another non-everyday use of written language for children is during festive or cultural celebration. So this event provides opportunities for children to engage in writing cards, greeting or short wishes which extends writing into cultural and social contexts. Writing for celebration teach children that writing can be used to build relationship and express their emotion in ways beyond learning. For instance, during Hari Raya or Christmas, children might write short messages such as Happy Eid Fitri or Merry Christmas on handmade cards for children or families. So this experience fosters social bonding, cultural awareness, and emotional expression through written language.
The next one is creating invitation for special events. Written language is often used in non-everyday contexts when children prepare invitation for school events. This gives children an authentic reason to write and introduce them to more formal purpose of communication. Writing invitation makes literacy meaningful beyond classroom activities. For example, children may write, "Please join us for our class exhibition on Friday," on a handmade invitation card decorated with drawing. Through this practice, children learn that writing is not only for schoolwork but also for sharing information with others. It builds pride in their writing and helps them understand how written communication connects families and communities to classroom learning. Next, designing certificates or awards. Children may also engage in non-everyday writing by helping design or write simple certificates for school ceremonies. This practice introduces them to formal written formats and shows how writing can be used to acknowledge and celebrate achievement. For instance, children may contribute by writing phrases such as star reader or best team player on a certificate for classmates during an end of term celebration. This activity fosters a sense of recognition and belonging among children while making writing purposeful. It also teaches children that written language can be used to celebrate milestones, enhancing their motivation and emotional development.
Written language in non-everyday contexts. Written language for thank you, notes, or letters. In non-everyday contexts, children can use written language to express gratitude af- after special events or visits. Writing thank you notes help children learn that writing can be used to show appreciation and strengthen relationships with others outside the classroom. For example, after a fireman visit the school, children may work together to write a simple thank you card saying, "Thank you for teaching us about fire safety." They might decorate the card with drawings of fire trucks or helmets. Outside of daily routines, written language is also used to express gratitude and nurture social bonds. After a special event, like I said about fireman visits, children can work together to compose, illustrate, and present a thank you card. They might write, "Thank you for teaching us about fire safety," and decorate it with fire truck drawings. This experience helps children recognize the social purpose of writing, practice empathy, and celebrate relationships beyond the classroom walls. Last one, written language in non-everyday contexts. Written language in schools, competitions, or display. Another non-everyday use of written language is during school competitions or public displays, such as poster contests, storytelling competitions, or science fairs. Children prepare written components like titles, captions, or short descriptions to accompany their work, which give them authentic audience for their writing. For instance, in a drawing competition about save the environment, children may write phrases like plant more trees or keep the beach clean on their artwork. Written language is a key part of school competitions and exhibitions. Children can create, label, and captions their artwork, science project, or poster with meaningful words. For example, in a Save the Environment competition, like I said, children might write, "Plant more trees or keep the beach clean." Here, writing becomes a tool for advocacy, persuasion, and creativity, not just a classroom exercise. This allows children to see their writing displayed celebrated, and appreciated by a wider audience, building pride and motivation.
In conclusion, both spoken and written language play an essential role in helping individuals communicate effectively across different contexts. Spoken language allows for immediate interaction, clarification, and emotional expressions, making it highly valuable in both everyday situations like greetings and instructions, as well as non-everyday contexts such as guest talk or performance. Written language, on the other hand, provides a permanent record and formal structure, which is meaningful for daily routines like name tags or journals, and for special occasions such as invitation and certificates. Together, spoken and written language complement each other in developing confidence, literacy skill, social competence, and the ability to adapt communication style according to purpose and audience. Ultimately, mastering both forms of language equips learners to communicate clearly, meaningfully, and effectively in real life and academic situations.